Hello, Jerrel here from Sun Grand Studios, and I just wanted to share a bit of behind the scenes time with you guys as I work on Silver Falls. So what I'm doing is just working on the animation system for animating the mouth shapes for text. So with Silver Falls, the characters animate their mouths by reading text in real time, and you can change the various emotions. This is just a quick test thing. It doesn't have all the options in there, but the characters look at the lines of dialogue in real time and animate their mouth shapes. Now, the program that I was using previously for creating my character models got discontinued, and the functionality got stripped out, which is a major bummer. I had about 70 or 80 character models out and formatted, and that's horrifying. Don't know where that came from. So, yikes. And so, unfortunately, all the characters I had made up to that point before the program got axed was they were all working great. I programmed this complex animation system. Let me go ahead and sort of show you a little bit of how it looks. All right, let's see here. We'll just put that there. And so I'll show you my machine system here. Okay, now I have, if you sort of look here at the inspector, I have multiple layers of animators, animation controllers. I have one that governs the top half, which would be this, so blinking can be controlled separately, and the base layer allows me to control the, so say for example I have look up, look down. If a character's eyes are, looking up or down, it'll adjust the brows and the eyelids, happy, angry, sad, worried, etc. And that's for the upper half of the face. You have gestures, which are, sort of one-off animation. So things that if you have a physical, habit of you sort of, sometimes you squint a lot. Some characters, you can define that. You can have twitches, people that stretch their eyebrows, just gestures. So every character can look different in terms of animation. So that's where all of those come in. And the upper half of the face can be animated separately from the bottom half. Then we have, click here, and now we can control the bottom half of the face. So we have neutral, which is nothing, and the base layer. So we can control emotions. So the top half can be happy, the lower half can be sad. That's deep. And we also have habits, so different habits for the lower part of the face in terms of the mouth. You have the animation for eating and drinking food. And you have speech. Now, this is what I'm finishing up right now. So unfortunately, what happened with the program that got discontinued had what are called blend shapes, and I'll show you how that looks. Okay, let's go ahead and look at our main man Bull here. Move these windows out of the way. So you can see all these blend shapes that he has on his body. So let's say body. We'll select body, beard, and mustaches, right? So there's a lot of control points here, which allowed me to create very dynamic and varied animations. Now the program seems to be sitting. I'm not sure why. Oh, it's in recording mode. Let's turn that off. Okay. Okay, still doesn't like it. I'm going to go ahead and close some windows here and see, because it seems to be locked down and I'm not sure why. Fantastic. It's not working the way it's supposed to, which is par for the course. Okay, so you can see I can control his eyebrows separately, body, beards, mustache. Let's see, down. No, doesn't seem to like that for some reason. See, so there's a lot of control points here. And that's how I was able to dynamically create unique animations for each particular character and animate the mouth to be very specific. I also created my own in-house system for the tongues of the characters. So let's see if I've sort of, let's go to gold here and I'll just show you an example of what we can do. So unfortunately, Gold is a character that I modeled after the program got discontinued, and the repercussions of that is a lot of the functionality got stripped out of the program. So it's not they don't really want you using it anymore because it's discontinued. So what I had to do was create a way to where I can still use that program so all my characters look consistent. Uh, and one of the major drawbacks of the discontinuation of that program is that now there are no more blend shapes. So those are all gone. You can't animate the face anymore. But I created a way where I rigged up those blend shapes myself, but I can only do it in a very limited way. So if I can open my document here, these are my notes here. So I, instead of having, dozens and dozens of blend shapes, I now only have these 12, which means I have blink, wide-eyed, angry, worried, happy, confused, etc., etc. But I sort of mapped out, well, I can blend these in a very particular way so that I can get enough variety out of it to where a character can have convincing enough animations. And what's interesting as well is, I'll show you here. So let's click on Gold, and we're going to uh, work on the bottom half of the face. And let's lock that, right? We lock that, so now we can select body. We'll shrink that down for now, mustache and beards. And now if we move these, you can see that we can animate the character to a certain extent. So I look at my key, it says 12, smile, okay? And we also have, so say for example, kiss is 11, so that character can make a kissy face, right? But what's also useful is we can go negative as well, so that will actually purse the lips. So the functionality that I lost when the program got discontinued, I can actually work around that by using certain animations or certain blend shapes and knowing, okay, if I go negative, I can get certain things to happen. Say, for example, I'll look at my key here, and these are, again, I made this up for myself, confused. 5. So if I go to 5 here, right? So you have that, it goes a very specific way, but if you put that negative, it'll also invert it, so you can have more variety and more dynamic with your characters. You can also do horrifying things by accident. So let's say you do that. Actually, that's not horrifying enough. Let's go to what's this one? Happy? Okay, so let's say we go to 100, but you accidentally do 900. So you can go as far as you want with these blend shapes. Let's go ahead and try confused. Let's go ahead and take that to 900. Oh, good. Fantastic. So that's wonderful. Let's go ahead and have a look at just a smile for the bottom half of the face. Oh, yes. Nice. So there we go. And what I'm finishing up now, so what I've had to do now is I have my first set of animations for my characters that were made, we'll just call it the snap. So pre-snap, before the program got snapped, I had that entire animation system completed. And that included how characters interpret text, and they changed the mouse shapes based on that. All of those animations no longer work, and there are there's a lot of animation data. So I've recreated all of that again using this new system that I've set up for myself now, creating almost blend shapes manually, which is not fun, but that just means every new character model I create, I now have to manually create, 12 versions of that character, manually changing their face, and then using the blend shape data to combine them all together so I can animate the face. So it's a little more time consuming, but you do what you've got to do to get the project done at the end of the day. So what I'm finishing now is the shape of the mouths, and I'll just show you how that works, okay? Just for interest. I think it's fun. Okay. So we'll click on this guy, and let's go ahead and lock that down. That way, if we select a different object in the hierarchy, it won't move around. So you can see these are all the different things that can happen with the mouth. And I left off on, say, for example, let's just have a look at O for a second. So if we click on animate, move that out of the way, and you can see, sure, if there's an O in the text, then the character will change their mouth shape to look like an O. And of course, don't mind how the shadows are a bit messed up in the mouth. That's just a texturing issue that takes 5 seconds to fix, and I just haven't prioritized that yet. Okay, now let's move on to, let's see here. Luckily, some mouth shapes look quite similar. So let's have a look at the letter P. You can see the character is pursing his lips. So I actually started by using data from the letter M, and I sound out words and I sort of think about how my mouth moves, and I think M. So, and that's how his mouth shape is like that. So what I'm going to do now is, now that this is locked down, you want to lock that down or else it'll change. And what we will do, oh, I'll start on body, mustaches, and beards. So I can control all of these points separately there. So I've got a second monitor that I use as well. So let's see, I'm going to open my document here, and I relied on kiss, right? Which is 11. I went negative because I wanted the character to purse his lips. But I want the letter P, right? So I'm actually going to make him do a little kissy face. So let's go ahead, put that at 60. And you don't want it overly exaggerated, so I think the letter P. And he sort of frowns a little bit as well. So this slider here is for smile. And that was at negative 20. So let's put it back there. That seemed okay, but maybe a little too frowny. Ooh. Let's see, 10 and 60. And I think that looks okay. Now we want to turn off the recording. What I'm going to do is just disable the mustache a little bit. And by a little bit, I mean disable the mustache entirely, so I know what it'll look like as other characters whose lips are more visible. And that looks right for the letter P to me. Yeah. And then what I'll do is I'll copy these keyframes. This is just how it's set up in the animation system that I've got. So let's have a look at the next letter, Q. So I think Q, quack, and I think quake. It's similar to the letter C and K. So what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and go to K, and I'll just have a quick look and see what that looks like. Yep. And I'll zoom in there. You can have a look at what the tongue looks like, but I think it's going to be very similar to K. So this is an instance where I can save myself a little bit of work. I will copy those keyframes, and we will go to Q. And again, this is the data from the old system, well, the previous system, the pre-snap, whereas this is post-snap. Actually, I can just delete these like that. So I have characters in Silver Falls that are pre-snap and post-snap, and more characters will be post-snap as I create more and more character models. So let's turn off our lighting so I can have a nice look inside his chamber. There we go here. Click on our tongue renderer. Oh, you all right there, buddy? Okay. And Q versus K, I think I would like the mouth shape to be a little bit more O shape for Q, because a lot of words tend to have, a lot of Q words tend to have the U following it. So what I'm going to do here is, actually first I'll adjust the tongue, right? I want the back of the tongue really to be touching the roof of the mouth here. So let's go ahead and do this. Q. I sort of think about how my tongue is shaped in my mouth when I'm forming different letters and sounds. So let's go ahead and bring that down just a little bit. Q. Okay, just like that. Okay, and we're gonna bend that bit of the tongue down. There we go. Let's bring that back just a little bit. GUI tongue. So I have a universal tongue model that I'm able to put in every character. So that means characters naturally have their tongue model built in. So I remove uh, the tongues that come built in with any characters because these characters all use a template as a starting point, and the template has a tongue. So I remove the tongue and I put in this universal tongue that I can animate freely with these bones here. And it just makes it a lot easier rather than trying to rig up a tongue that's actually part of the model. That's going to be a nightmare trying to rig that up while it's in there. So having a separate tongue makes that a lot more streamlined in terms of development. Okay, and now, like I said, I wanted the mouth to be a little bit more O-shaped. So let's click on mustaches, body, and beards. And I'm going to look at my document here. Let's see, mouth open and smile 12. So what I'm going to do is go negative on the smile and try and get a bit of an O shape in there. Yeah. There we go. I think that's all right. I think that looks okay. And I'd like the bottom lip to be, I think the bottom lip's a little too high. Let's go ahead and look at my document here. Bottom lip down. So that's 10. So let's go ahead and down a little. Yeah, there we go. And again, don't mind how it's the shadows. It's all messed up in there. That's not a big deal. Not a big deal. Okay. Fantastic. That looks okay to me. I'm going to copy those keyframes and then put them in there. Now let's have a look at what else we have. And we have R. So again, let's see. I think my tongue shape should already be, let's have a look at our tongue because that should already be done. Okay, F is the shortcut key to zoom in. So it looks like that one's, there we go. So the tongue, yeah, so that's the R shape for the tongue. Yeah, that seems right. But again, because the tongue's universal, it stays animated, but I'll have to reanimate that guy. So let's go ahead and give him his, well, he's gone Amish, hasn't he? So let's let him have his mustache back. All his logic is showing. There we go. That's Gold Prospector. And you have other characters, turn the lighting back on and you can enjoy that. So yeah, I thought it'd be fun to share that process with you. I hope you enjoyed that. Just a bit of behind the scenes stuff. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. You can comment, you can send us a message. If there's anything in particular you'd like to see or you're interested in hearing about, let me know. I'll be happy to cover that. So I hope you're well. I hope you're healthy. I hope you're happy. And it's coming towards the end of the year, so I hope things aren't too stressful for you. Relax and spend some time with loved ones. And hopefully we can see you again soon. You take care of yourself.